my first post, and this is the most critical of all the posts because everything is leveled off this first one, so I have to get it right. Now the mount will be flush like you see here. I have to keep in mind that the measurement from the top of the decking board to the bottom of the rail needs to be 35 inches. And then when we add that 1-inch rail, that'll bring it to 36. So that's the ideal height we want to do. So as I mount, I'm going to drill my pilot screw holes through my cedar boards, and then I will drive the screws into the rim joist. Now I'm using a guide hole with a 3/16 to drill through the 1x cedar that's a little softer, so I'm going to get through it without splitting, and then we'll drive this screw through to the rim joist using the spider head on my drill bit. I'll do one hole to start, secure that in, and then I can level it off and continue to drill all the other holes. I'm using these rubber-backed washers to provide insulation here against the plate, just in case, so we don't scratch the plate surface and cause potential corrosion and rusting later on. I did notice my bit was short, so I had to add this extender. So I was finding myself rubbing up against this, and I didn't want to nick this. You don't want any perforation into that powder coating to cause any potential corrosion or rusting. So about 3 inches away from the chimney here. That will allow us to be able to string in our wire and feed it through with enough space there, but not too big of a space where it's approaching the code limits. Brought in a 2x4 because my level isn't long enough to span that gap. So we want to be mindful of 36 inches from this point to this point, but we want to be more mindful that it's level with our original hole post. So looks like we're good. Solid. That ain't going anywhere. Next up, we have to install our bar post on the corner, and we'll use a string line with a line level to make sure that new post on the far side is level with these 3 posts here. So we'll do that next. Now, as you can see, this plate faces in. The far post that we'll put in on that side faces out. Can't tell you how helpful this little contraption is, a level platform with a little bracket to brace up what I'm doing here in place of having an assistant. So this works pretty good. Okay, this corner is going to be a little tricky to get level with the other side because we have to sort of pin this post in place to see where we are when we set up the level line. We can't fully secure it with the bolt into the rim joist until we have it level. So that becomes tricky. So what I decided to do is use just a couple of screws to sort of pin it into the board as close as I can, and then we can make permanent adjustments after we get it level. Level is pretty close. This is not level, but my pinning screws allowed me to be really close. So what I'll do is anchor with a permanent lag screw, and then I can go left to right to pull it into perfect level on this line. Because right now this pole is leaning just a little bit, and that's bringing my level off on the bubble just a little bit. So I'm pleased that we're very close, and we'll lag one in, and then we'll do our final adjustments. Need to remove my pinning screws before I can go left to right because it's locked into position. Now I can see if we're level, which we're not. We knew that. So we'll pull her forward. Feel the tension on that level line. So that's a good thing. Okay, we're spot on there. And I'm going to do this on the fly here. Check. She's straight. Look at someone close enough. Okay. What we're doing. Perfect. Will be good enough. Solid, baby. Okay, now that I have my 2 corner posts, now I can fill in my center posts that are going to be about 4 feet apart, roughly, give or take. As long as they visually look good, it doesn't really matter if they're exactly 4 feet, but we're going to shoot for 4 feet. And then after that, we'll turn the corner. I left the line level up, obviously, to make sure all of them, as I install them, are in line with the 2 corner posts. So I measured my distance from one corner to the next, and we're just about exactly 17 feet. So if you divide 17 by 4 feet span between posts, we're coming up to about 4 foot 3 inches, give or take. So I'm going to mark from left to right 4 foot 3 inches as my position for each of those center posts. I started in the middle, so I divided 17 in half for my center post, and as I said before, we're going to go 4 foot 3 inches on either side for the 2 other posts. The center post is a little different than the end posts. The plate is mounted in the middle, equally distributing the weight. So we'll wrap this guy in there, move on to the next. Okay, I have my little bracket, my little bracer here to support the weight of these guys. These are heavy, by the way, which is awesome, stainless steel. I have my middle mark, and I'm trying to line up with my line level, and so make our adjustments accordingly. Dead on. Okay, now my pilot hole. Level up. Absolutely perfect. Will be absolutely perfect enough. Got this first run all figured out, and as you can see, it's spot on level, which is outstanding. and the sun is shining on me, which is heating things up, but feels good. Okay, on to the last section, coming from our stairs over to the corner. Again, I'm coming with my plate that's flanged. I don't know if you call this left or right. In any case, it goes this way because it'll be supporting the weight going that way. So, and then leaving a full clearance for our stairway here. So, again, this is tricky to get level. We're going to go ahead and measure the 35 inches from the deck surface to get a general proximity. But then I'm going to want to be level with my corner so everything flows together. So it's going to require some pinning and maybe some tweaking to get it just right. Now, there's a design question here that we're considering. We already determined that the other posts are 4 foot 3 inches apart, roughly. And just visually, we want to have these posts over here be as close as possible to 4 foot 3. So we have some freedom here where the stair post is to go left or right in order to make those two middle posts somewhere around 4 foot 3. So again, not anything with code or structural issues, it's just visual. So this is going to work out really nicely. So placing the stair post maybe 3 inches or so offset from the tread is where we thought we would want to be, and which is also appropriate because the overhang on the top railing is going to be somewhere around 3 inches. So from this position to where that far post is, I placed it there as to where it's going to be installed. And then I measured inside to inside, and it came up to 152. And then we have 2 inside posts. So as luck would have it, divide that by 3 equals around just under 51 inches. So it'll be almost exactly as the other post. So visually this is going to be spot on. We're going to pin this to where we think it's going to be level, and then we'll come back, make our adjustments to make it level with a line. But for now, using my bracket again, I love this bracket, by the way. We know where that measurement is. I'm looking for 35. So it taps in. Help me hold the weight of this very heavy stainless steel post. Seeing that it's 3 inches from my corner. The pilot hole marker. Sometimes you have to be left-handed. It's in, but there's still room for shifting as needed. I'm going to go up on top of the deck and get a better bird's eye view of how level it is with these two things, the line level and its neighbor pole here, and see how we're doing. All systems go. Now let's determine our vertical level. Ooh, quite a shift there, so that's going to affect up top. Yes, it is. So I need to bring that down. Bottom hole. Let's see where we're at. If that was enough.
not happy with it. Still needs to go down.
Okay, I'm happy where this is level. They can't all come easy. The reality is that this faceplate allows a lot of forgiveness, and if you're off on your holes, you can reposition slightly and still have enough support with this heavy backer plate. So yeah, all these posts went in very easily, except this one gave me a little trouble. But it's a key point because at the top where the two railings will intersect from the long run and from the short run, if these two poles aren't level, then we have a problem. It's going to line up not level, so we don't want that. So corner poles level. Now I'm going to shift my line level from what was the long run over here to my short run here, so this is in sync, because even that distance heading that way for a line level is too far away. I wanted to be spot on for these 4 poles. So I ran a new line. Now I have to find these 2 center poles to line up with these 2 end poles. So that's what I'm doing now. Strong, level, done. Fantastic. Feeling good. Well, it seems I made a rookie mistake. Just discovered it. I'm on the corner here, and maybe some of you noticed this, or in the earlier filming I did, but this space from here to here is too wide. It actually ends up being 5.5 inches. Code has to be less than 4 inches, but not just code, but just the visual. It needs to be a little tighter. So I'm gonna need to do a fixer on this, and unfortunately I believe it's going to reveal some of these 2 outside holes, which, you know, I'm not happy about it, but what are you going to do? Rookie mistake, but we'll make it look pretty. We'll probably put some a dowel or some sort of filler in there to make it look less obvious. Fortunately, this side of the deck is not visible 90% of the time, 95% of the time, but I hate making mistakes like this, so what are you gonna do? Rookie back again with you. Just want to quick show you the result of my fix. Moved it in. As you can see, the holes are there, which gives me heartburn, but we can fill those in. It's the same here, and it's the same on the far end. So, not happy about it, but I'd rather do it right and then just fix the cosmetics that are seen only 5% of the time. So, okay, so I got these bad boys installed. They look outstanding. I'm very pleased with them. Next step, I need to order the wire and the railing top. So what Paul Kraft needs from me to get these manufactured is the dimensions from the outer post into the inner post. From those measurements, I'll send those down to Paul. He'll get the wire ordered. The 3/16 wire is what we're going with. It's a little heavier gauge. I think it has a better look to it. And then he'll also manufacture the aluminum rail top, and that'll be our next step. Of course, you've got your 2 drivers and screwdrivers with the spider bit and the 3/16 drill bit for making pilot holes. Of course, you need your level. I would have preferred to have a 4-foot level, but this little guy worked fine with the help of a 2x4. My little kicker board that helped be my second set of hands while holding up the heavy stainless steel post. Tape measure, of course, and then I used a sheetrock squaring measure thing, whatever you call those deals, T-square. That worked great, then it can lay flat on the deck surface to get your measurement from the surface to the bottom of the or to the top of the post. Line level, I used a couple of just regular screws to tack in place on those two the end pieces that were tricky, that needed to be adjusted before you permanently screw them in. A line, of course, you've got your lag screws with the spider bit to use with them, and then the two-sided washers with the rubber insulation. And I think that's about it. Good weather, good attitude, and a square deck to start from.